Hello everybody, welcome back. It is JudiciousFire, and I am here with the top 10 heroes in Castle Clash. I'm excited for this video. Going to look at the top 10 heroes, modern builds, new for 2020. We're going to get all the new talents and insignias worked into here as well. I'm going to show you recommended builds on each of these top 10 heroes. You can't go wrong with any of these. Of course, there's always going to be a little bit of disagreement about the top 10, but I don't think anybody could complain if they had one of these 10 heroes in his or her altar. Please hit the subscribe button, notification bell. You'll know when videos like this come out. Let's start right away with an honorable mention, and then we'll move right into the top 10. We must provide an honorable mention to our friend Pumpkin Duke. There are so many game modes in Castle Clash that require an attack speed, or movement speed buff. And Pumpkin Duke does that better than anybody. His lack of a cooldown and his ability to stack or add his skill ability on top of itself again and again provides an invaluable boost to your team. There would be parts of this game where you just can't successfully navigate without a Pumpkin Duke. There are many recommended builds for Pumpkin Duke, but if you're looking for the fastest, speediest, most effective PD, you're going to want to go with a regen talent. I have a regen as well as a sunder. I do the regen with a sunder insignia pretty much all the time. This way he's getting maximum hits in combat as well as maximum energy generation. The time that I am running a Sunder talent, I would then pair it up with a Wicked Armor insignia. And that's specifically for something like Ember Army. Typically, without Wicked Armor, PD gets taken out by Reflect and Deflect in that particular game mode. But 9 times out of 10, I'm running a regen with a Sunder insignia. For his equipment, I'm running a Hyper Strength. Hyper Strength is just going to make him a better Pumpkin Duke. It increases his energy regeneration process. That's what you need to get max speed, max stacks, and hit that max speed cap as soon as possible. In terms of his traits, I have him with all attack, and that is simply for the game mode of Archdemon. A better Pumpkin Duke would be an all-dodge Pumpkin Duke. There is nothing about this man's skill or abilities that requires accuracy. Nothing about his skill or abilities that requires really anything other than to stay alive and stay out of harm's way. I think health would be also a good pick, but I would go dodge first and foremost. But if you want to do max damage in something like an Archdemon, you're probably going to want to run an attack setup. Now that we've looked at our good friend Pumpkin Duke, who has been with us since the beginning of the game, let's start getting down to the nitty-gritty. The top 10 heroes in Castle Clash. Let's begin with number 10 and work our way down to number 1. Our number 10 hero in the top 10 heroes of Castle Clash Countdown is going to be Creation 01. Creation is one of those heroes that is often overlooked in this game, and that is an advantage to those players who decide to prioritize Creation. He can do massive damage. He does damage over time as well. That helps to bring down the health pool of damage-capped heroes. He can also hit into stealth. The hero has to be visible. Creation has to perform his skill activation, but as the hero goes into stealth, that skill activation will continue. That skill activation can kill pretty much any hero in this game. This is a real hero killer. Can be used offensively, and I do often. Can be used defensively, and I do so probably more often. A Sacred Light is going to be a great talent for the guy. He is not immune to silence, and so you're going to want to give him damage reduction, extra health. Something like a Flame Guard can be taken away from him simply by a silencing. If you're going to use him as a base defender, I have found that an Empower will allow him to auto-proc, while at the same time his crest or insignia would be a Wicked Armor. he puts out so much damage that it can often come back and kill him. So regardless of which talent you choose to run, make sure that you can work Wicked Armor in there somewhere. It's going to keep him alive, allow him to do more damage, and allow him to do that damage over time that is so important. When it comes to his equipment, I'm running a Spectre's Instinct. I found that my creation, and he's all maxed out, he's able to live without the benefit of something like a Holy Conviction. So because he's staying alive pretty well, I found that the Spectre's Instinct is a really nice pairing with what he does naturally. He hits into and through stealth. Spectre's Instinct is going to ignore elusive or stealth, help to confine and inhibit, basically freeze up or paralyze the enemy. His comatizing effect through his skill activation also does the same. So basically, you're making him twice as good at what he does with that particular enchantment. Let's take a look at his traits. I have all accuracy. Creation is a hero killer. In this game, hero killers, 9 times out of 10, are going to need accuracy. A hero killer without accuracy is simply going to dance around, doing nothing and hitting nothing. Creation's all about hitting the enemy. You need accuracy on the man. It's a great hero, number 10 on our top 10 countdown. Our number 9 hero on the top 10 heroes of Castle Clash, we have Occultist. Occultist is a good healer, but what he excels at is direct head-to-head hero fighting. If you're going to make a head-to-head hero fighting team, make sure that you put Occultist in there. He will do a better job than, say, a Walla Walla when it comes to head-to-head, face-to-face hero fighting. He turns damage into healing. He does so also only within a small area on the board. So when you drop your 6 heroes right there for an attack, he will be providing that damage to healing transfer to those heroes that are part of your attack team. That really is invaluable. He's going to keep your hero killers alive. He's also going to do a very good job at removing negative conditions that happen to be hampering their abilities in combat. He is a hero that is immune to silence. Thereby, I have a Flame Guard on him. That's going to provide some deflect. It's also going to up his health tremendously. If I'm not doing that and I want him to auto-proc, I do enjoy the Empower. Give him that health bonus. Instant auto-proc activation with all that energy that he happens to be gaining. Typically for an insignia, I am going to be running a Sacred Light. Pretty much all the time. Occultist is not a hero that puts out enough damage where Wicked Armor is necessary. You don't have to worry about reflect and deflect because he does so little in terms of damage. This is a support hero and a hero that can turn a great team into a hero-killing team, a tremendous team. It's all due to Occultist. Let's take a look at his equipment. Got him with Holy Conviction. Because he is a support hero, I'm not worried about the damage he's putting out. I want him to stay alive. That is achieved through extra damage reduction as well as an increased healing process for himself. So what he does naturally is now made better through the use of the Holy Conviction. Let's take a look at his traits. I have all dodge. Nothing that this man does requires accuracy. His healing ability can't be, it can't miss. So it's always going to be effective. So keep the guy out of trouble, keep him out of danger, give him as much dodge and the ability to stay out of harm's way as you possibly can. And you're going to have a successful Occultist. Our number 8 hero on the top 10 heroes of Castle Clash countdown is going to be Phobos. Phobos is a true tank. He's a true survivor. he can be up in the face of pretty much anybody and survive. He's got the ability to lower their energy, as well as the ability to silence them. A great hero for head-to-head hero fighting, also a great hero for base defense. And I have him set up for both of those activities. I've got him with a Sacred Light for when I'm doing head-to-head hero fighting. I've got him with an Empower when I want him to auto-proc on base and to continually activate his skill. No matter what I'm doing, I'm always going to be running a Wicked Armor on the man. He does put out a lot of damage, and that can come back and hurt him. Wicked Armor is going to mitigate that to such a degree that he only takes a small amount of reflect and deflect. That'll help to keep him alive. Let's take a look at his equipment. I've got him with a Holy Conviction. He does have some deflect capability, but I would much rather have a hero that stays alive than a hero that does a little deflect and then goes out. With this particular build, Phobos is very, very hard to kill. And he's able to do all of those great things to help your team and to help kill off the enemy. Phobos is an amazing hero when you give him the proper kind of build. Now, here with his traits, I've got him with all dodge. I do that because the elements of his skill description that I like and that I use don't require accuracy. There is also the case to be made that accuracy would be helpful on the man if you want him to do the hero killing. I use him more of a support role. So if you're going to go with traits, I would go with either dodge or accuracy. I think that both would be a great combination and both would be a great addition to an already incredible hero. Our number 7 hero on the top 10 heroes of Castle Clash Countdown, we have Lazulix. Laz is an amazing bird of prey. Laz is the kind of hero that can shut down an enemy, do incredible base damage, even have enough damage output to kill many of today's heroes. He's a hero that is immune to silencing effects. That's why the Flame Guard works on him very, very well. I also have a Blade Dance. The Blade Dance is only for computer game modes. We've reached a point in Castle Clash now in 2020 where Blade Dance has become less and less effective, almost to the point where it's harmful on your heroes. We have too many heroes that negate these abilities or can just hit straight through them with their super high accuracy rate. So when I am running the Blade Dance, it is only occasionally and only against the computer. 99 times out of 100, I'm running it with a Flame Guard and also a Sacred Light. This is a Laz that lives a long time. There is a case to be made for a Revive Laz, and that can be helpful, but you will find that a Laz with a Flame Guard Sacred Light combo will live far longer than the cumulative sum total of all the lives from a Revive Laz. Also, a Revite can help tremendously if you want him to activate his skill immediately, and I do that on occasion. But it's typically going to be a Flame Guard and Sacred Light combo. With his equipment, I got the Holy Conviction on there. I want him to stay alive. I want him to take as little damage as possible. If there's a healer on the team or a pet that provides healing, it will increase his healing capability. He himself is not an innate healer, but the Holy Conviction will help when there's an exterior healing source. Let's take a look at his traits. I have an all dodge Laz. Not worried about his accuracy. The man takes out a third of the board with one skill activation. Okay, nobody's dodging that. Also with this dodge, you can run this guy all the way through the Insane Dungeon 810 series. He'll never take a single hit. All he'll do is just keep smashing and pulverizing buildings and heroes. He's an amazing hero and a hero that has really shown his worth over the test of time here in Castle Clash. And our number 6 hero on the top 10 heroes of Castle Clash Countdown, we have Boreal Fox. Boreal Fox is one of the ultimate base defenders. He's going to freeze a portion of the board as well as the heroes that are inside of that particular area. He is a hero that is immune to silence. Flame Guard's a wonderful choice. I think Sacred Light would also be great. I have a Empower on him because when I use him in a defensive capability, I want him to continually generate his skill and auto proc. It is important, though, to have a Wicked Armor on him. Just like so many of our heroes, he puts out enough damage that it can come back from another hero's Flame Guard or their built-in reflect or deflect capability. You want to try to mitigate that as much as possible. As far as his equipment goes, I went with the Holy Conviction. I want to keep him alive. I'm not using him to kill heroes. I'm using him to freeze up, immobilize heroes, if you will. So my true hero killers can come in and take care of business. I want him to have damage reduction. I want him to stay out of danger. Speaking of, with his traits, I went all dodge. I'm using him for his freezing capability. I'm using him to disrupt attacks against my base. I'm using him to disrupt the defense of my opponent's base. I'm not really so worried about accuracy. The case can be made, though, that accuracy would be certainly a benefit to Boreal Fox. So, dodge, accuracy, or we always have the choice to put traits on a pet. So a pet with a high accuracy bonus would serve Boreal Fox very, very well. It's a great hero and a wonderful addition to the game. Our number 5 hero in the top 10 heroes of Castle Clash Countdown, we have Dovekeeper. Dovekeeper, I'm running with a Fiery Comet. Got a debuff, going to do some damage, but also is going to remove elusive or stealth, and that can really be invaluable. She can kill off a stealth Ronin, another stealth Dove, another stealth Zeph, and do so pretty easily with this particular combination. Her second talent, I have her with a Sunder. Sunder because she is one of the highest DPS heroes in the game. And Sunder is just going to make that so much better. I am using Dovekeeper these days. With these modern builds, I'm using the Sunder combo in Archdemon. And we'll get to her traits in a moment, but I have her set up for that particular game mode. When I have insignias to choose from, I've found that Soul Healer is really great, especially when you're right up in the face of the enemy on head-to-head hero fighting. Reduces their healing. Also gives her a huge health boost that can be very, very helpful. We've reached a time in Castle Clash where we have heroes that are able to break damage caps. And Dove has that famous damage cap. I think that there is great logic these days in having damage reduction on a hero like Dovekeeper. Something like a Sacred Light Insignia will help her from being one-shotted by a Bloody Mary or a Valiant Saintess. Also, running a Wicked Armor will help her from absorbing the full reflect or deflect from something like a Bloody Mary. Often just one hit from Dove to a Flame Guard Bloody Mary will instantly kill Dovekeeper. Wicked Armor will prevent that. Let's take a look at her equipment. I've got her with a Spectre's Instinct. When she's attacked, she's going to provide a inhibit, a confine, a lockup, or stun, if you will, of the enemy. Also, it ignores elusive effects. So what you have is a hero with this particular build that if you're running any kind of stealth, any kind of elusive, or if you have a hero that does that by its skill activation, you come in contact with this Dovekeeper, you're out in a matter of 3 seconds. That's how I'm using Dove. I don't use her on defense, and I never have. She will put out weak love doves, and your enemy can stack or sit upon those love doves and continually generate their skill. It's bad for you. I use her only in an offensive capability against human opponents. I will use her defensively if I'm in a computer game mode, like a Here Be Monsters or a Hero Trials. Let's take a look at her equipment and traits. I used to have an accuracy dove, all accuracy. That is the best dove to have. Dove is a hero killer. Hero killer without accuracy is just dancing around doing nothing. But now that we have gotten into the modern times of Archdemon, and that is really my favorite game mode in Castle Clash, we are able to use Dove at her current skill level, at current damage output. We can use her now in Archdemon. But you've got to jack up all of her attack capability in order to reach that max damage cap of 500,000 against the Archdemon. That required me changing all of her traits. I don't regret it, but it did sting a little bit. This is a less effective dove in the majority of game modes. So my best advice would be go with straight accuracy. If you want to build a dove keeper that does base damage, don't. There was a time when that made sense. You could put a Doom Balloon on Dove, she could solo a base. Now there is at least one hero that is far superior in that respect. Just go with an attacking hero killing Dove. Allow her to be what she is naturally, and leave the doom ballooning and base destruction to another hero, which we'll get to pretty soon. And our number 4 hero on the top 10 heroes of Castle Clash Countdown, it's going to be Walla Walla. Walla is the best healer in the game. Meaning, when you add him to your team, he's not just going to heal, he's going to support. He's going to buff. He's going to debuff. He's going to be a strong hero even unto himself in terms of his attack ability and his capability to survive. He's an all-around great hero. And even though he's been in the game for a little while now, he still proves his effectiveness time and time again. There are times when I'm hero building and I will, as the first or even second hero, choose Walla Walla and build around him. Walla has a global healing effect. So anywhere on that 40 by 40 board, he will heal your teammates. That's something that Occultist can't do. When I'm base defending or even attacking with Walla, I always feel comfortable using the Flame Guard. The man's not immune to silence. He has a great survivability, great survival capability. I think that paired up with a Sacred Light insignia or even a Wicked Armor, that's a wonderful build. I also have a Sunder on there. That is the most niche use, not necessarily something I would recommend. It's simply for Archdemon purposes and nothing else. It would be a poor talent to put on Walla. It'd be much better to have a Sacred Light or a Wicked Armor or an Empower as his second talent. Also, he does quite well with something like Soul Healer, but you might want to do that in insignia form. Let's take a look at his insignias right now with the Flame Guard. I have him auto-procking through the use of Empower. Going to be healing everybody on my base, removing negative conditions, slowing down the movement speed of attackers, debuffing. Does the whole deal, all constantly auto-generated. But again, a Wicked Armor, because of the damage that he puts out, it's very, very effective, especially in something like an Ember Army. The Soul Healer capability, that big health boost, as well as the reduction in healing against the enemy. There are a lot of ways to build your Walla, but I would always keep in mind that at his core, by his very nature, He is a support hero. He is not a hero killer. You go out trying to kill with your Walla's going to get killed. Walla needs to be part of a team. Walla shouldn't be the first guy out on the board. Walla, in many circumstances, should be the last hero that you put out on the board. Let's take a look at his equipment. I have a holy conviction for all the reasons that I've stated thus far in this video, the damage reduction, but that tremendous healing capability that he has is boosted for himself. It's going to help to keep him alive. It'll heal him up to full each and every time. All dodge. I am running him with that Sunder for the Archdemon. He would do much better in the Archdemon game mode with all attack, like I did on Dovekeeper. I just can't bring myself. Okay, just as a brief aside in this video, I can't bring myself to change a perfect dodge spread on somebody. So currently, I'm doing it as it should be done. Giving Walla dodge, giving him the capability to stay out of harm's way. It's nothing that he does other than his brief attack that requires accuracy. He's always going to be healing your team. Things like that don't miss in this game. So if you want to up his dodge even further, give him a pet with a little bit of dodge. If you want to increase his accuracy, his health, these things can all be done with pets. But I think a Walla that stays out of danger through the use of dodge is the best fundamental foundational build. That's why I stuck with these traits. And our number 3 hero on the top 10 heroes of Castle Clash Countdown is going to be Valiant Saintess. Valiant Saintess is one of 2 current heroes in the game of Castle Clash that are able to break through damage caps. Valiant Saintess, I feel, is a superior hero to Bloody Mary, the other hero that can break a damage cap, because Valiant Saintess lives longer. She's got a healing process. She's got some damage reduction. I find that Bloody Mary can go out pretty quickly. So while Bloody Mary puts out more damage, Valiant Saintess lives longer. I would much rather have a hero that takes a minute to kill the bad guys and actually lives than one that suicides itself in the first couple of seconds, which Mary is inclined to do. Valiant Saintess is immune to silence. I feel fine with the Flame Guard. I understand that things like, Spectre's Instinct can negate Flame Guard for certain periods of time. I've never really had too much of a problem with that. I think it is because when I do team build, I'm not putting a team of 6 all bearing Flame Guard out there. 1 or 2 of those heroes may have Flame Guard. And if I'm not running the Flame Guard setup, I found, especially against computer opponents, I found that Vigorous Fury is really excellent. Gets her crit ability up. Crits will happen more often. And in something like a Lost Land, a variety of game modes, you can really jack up her damage dealing capability through the use of critical strikes. Crit in this game now in 2020 is dying. It's dying a slow death. Our heroes through the title talent system have acquired so much critical hit resistance, or the ability to avoid being hit by a critical strike, that it makes crit builds an illogical choice. There are much better ways to build heroes. You might be critting at a 500k might, but once you've maxed out title talents and you're plus 2 million might, you're not critting against anybody except the computer. And that's when I'll switch over to Vigorous Fury. I find with the Insignia, almost all the time, I'm running Wicked Armor. This really, really helps her. Valiant Saintess can get killed off quick by the damage that she puts out. Wicked Armor is going to nearly prevent that from happening. Let's take a look at equipment. I've got Holy Conviction. She is a hero killer, but a dead hero killer can kill no heroes. I need to give her some damage reduction. She is often one of the point persons first out on the board that I use, and she can absorb a lot of damage during those initial seconds of combat. Holy Conviction is going to help prevent her getting one-shotted. It's also going to help to increase her own natural skill-based healing process. Let's take a look at the equipment. All accuracy. She's a hero killer. When I use her, I don't want her dancing. I want her taking out heroes left and right, and she can do that. She can one-shot a Dovekeeper. She can one-shot a Zephyrica. Even found that she's so quick at killing off damage-capped heroes with a high accuracy build that my heroes tend to fall into the base a little bit more quickly than I would have liked. So sometimes I do wait on Valiant Saintess. And once my other heroes start activating their skills and we get a nice rhythm going, I'll drop Valiant Saintess and she'll kill the Dovekeeper or Zephyrica or wherever we happen to be stacking or sitting on. She is an amazing hero. And our number 2 of the top 10 Heroes of Castle Clash Countdown is going to be Zephyrica. And it shows how this game is constantly changing. Zeph was my number 1 for a long, long time. But there are things that he can no longer do. One of them is he can't tank an entire board. He can't solo an entire board. Not against premier heroes. He can get taken out pretty quickly, cumulatively through damage over time, or with one shot from a damage cap breaker like Valiant Saintess that we just looked at. You have to take care of your Zeph now. I'm running Fiery Comment on Zeph, and I love it. I would not recommend this talent on the majority of heroes. I have it on damage capped heroes, where adding extra damage reduction, extra health isn't necessary because they already have a damage cap. Would not be running this on something like a Walla Walla, for example. Okay, it's not going to have the effect that you would want it to have, and it's going to end up costing Walla his life. Fiery Comet does very, very well on Zeph. I have a Sunder as well, and I do this for a lot of different game modes. I use Zeph in everything from Lava Isle to Lost Realm. And when you're fighting these big damage cap beasts, you want as many hits against the enemy as possible, and Sunder provides that. Also, Zeph, by his very skill activation, his very nature, he is hitting multiple targets at once. So let's take a look at something like a Lava Isle 3 or Lava Isle 4. Say you've got 4 or 5 damage cap demons at each point of the board, north, south, east, west, and one in the middle. He's going to be hitting each and every one of those through his skill activation. He has very high DPS when it comes to multiple targets. What he's lacking is high DPS when it comes to a single target. Sunder helps that. So I've got 2 very, very different builds, but Zeph is one of those few heroes that you can do different things with. But these days you got to watch out for Zeph and you got to take care of him. Let's take a look at his insignias. Find that Soul Healer is an excellent pairing with the Fiery Comet. You can really shut down the enemy when you're going head-to-head hero fighting. Typically, Zeph is probably the first one I drop out on the board if I'm trying to kill off heroes. It's going to give him a big health increase. It's going to cut down the healing of the bad guys. Don't let all the hard work that you've done in fighting be undone by a quick heal from the enemy. You've got to suppress healing, whether that be through Soul Healer or through the enchantment malaise. All of these are very, very effective. And when you're out there in the field attacking, it's best to have healing reduction on 2 heroes, not just 1. So make it 2 malaises, or 2 heroes that are bearing a soul healer, a talent, or insignia. It's not just in case one gets killed off, it's that you can continue its effect over time and help to suppress healing during the duration of the battle. Let's take a look at his equipment. I'm loving Spectre's Instinct on the man. Confines and inhibits the enemy, ignores any kind of stealth or elusive. Even if I'm not attacked by enemies that bear a stealth or elusive capability, when he is attacked, and he's always getting attacked, it will still inflict, inhibit, and confine on 3 of the 6 heroes attacking me. There are very few heroes currently in the game of Castle Clash that are immune to inhibit and confine. And so it is a very, very helpful enchantment on a hero that doesn't require extra damage reduction. I don't find that reflect and deflect is such a strong opponent to Zeph as it is to Dove. Dove can one-shot herself because she can drop a 40 million crit hit on someone's head. Zeph does a certain amount of damage output over time, and typically Wicked Armor isn't necessary. There is some logic, though, behind having something like a Sacred Light in insignia form against Zeph. This way, when a Mary or a Saintess hits him, it isn't taking him out. Let's take a look at his traits. He is a hero killer. I want him to always hit. This Zeph always hits. You would have to have dodge into the high 20 to low 30,000s, especially when I have a pet on the man that increases his accuracy. You would have to have a nearly impossible level of dodge in order to get out of the way from Zeph's rapid fire hits. And if you're stacking dodge, you're doing it with a talent and an insignia in order to get it up that high, which means, friend, you got no damage reduction. So all I have to do is hit you once and you're out. Make your hero killers accurate. Make your support heroes dodge. Allow them to stay out of the way. It's a guy who wants to be up in front killing heroes. I'm about to jump into number 1. Number 1 hero in Castle Clash, top 10 countdown. But before we get there, because I got inundated with comments on the last top 10 that I did, and I want to try to cut that off a little bit. Spoiler alert, number 1 isn't Lavanica. Lavanica didn't even make this top 10 list. I'm going to be asked, why is Lavanica not in the top 10? Let me tell you this briefly, then I'll get to number 1. Lavanica is becoming an older dragon. I'm not saying he's useless. I'm not saying he doesn't have great utility in this game. Certainly he does. His Paralyze, for example, can be very, very helpful. But he is not an auto-proc or auto-skill generating hero. He is not a hero that has a global attack. That's a real hindrance to a team. We've got heroes that hit everywhere on the 40x40 board. Lava isn't doing that. Lava can be taken out with 1 hit from a Bloody Mary or a Valiant Saintess. Lava is starting to show his age. There are heroes that do what Lava does, but they do it even better. And they've made this list. So Lava, I still use, but he is in a state of semi-retirement. We're going to have a new dragon in Castle Clash pretty soon, and it will show the repeated process of power creep and dragon one-upping in this game. The new dragon, whatever that may be, is going to make Zeph look like a chump. Zeph will be weak in contrast to this new dragon. And that's the way it goes. And we're with Lavanica now. It would be then 3 dragons behind. So Lava has not made the top 10 list because he is being replaced on many different levels by heroes that can do what he does, but in a far superior way. Let's get to the number 1 hero in Castle Clash. And our number 1 best hero in the game of Castle Clash, top 10 countdown. I never thought I'd see the day. It's Rambard. This may be a controversial pick, but I'll tell you this. In one sentence, I'll sell this. The man doesn't die. Period. There's nobody else in Castle Clash who can match that. Rambard sometimes doesn't even take damage. If you build your Rambard properly, a certain style of build, you've built an invincible hero. Invincible in the sense of general gameplay. Now, if I face off against this Rambard, I can kill him, but it's going to take me heroes that have Sunder. It's going to take a Pumpkin Duke. It's going to be taking a combination of heroes and talents that nobody's attacking with. And certainly no one is defending his or her base with. No one's defending their base with a Sunder Pumpkin Duke, okay? So in general gameplay, the man is effectively immortal. This is achieved through the following build. True piety. You will need that, and you will need that up high, at least level 9, for it to be reliable. Also have the fiery comment down there. It does everything that it does with Zeph and with Dove, all those great benefits, and I can get away with it on Rambard because even with fiery comment, the man doesn't die. He doesn't need that kind of damage reduction, and he can use a talent like that. But 9 times out of 10, I'm running a true piety, and it's got to be with a sacred light. Higher the better. You've basically built a Rambard that if he does take damage, he immediately heals it. Or he transmutes damage into healing. Either way, he's not going down. Let's take a look at his equipment. I have a holy conviction on him. You could go one or two ways. One of two ways if you want an invincible, immortal Rambard. You can do Holy Conviction. You can also do a healing ritual. I will make the case that a Holy Conviction is probably a wiser choice. Healing ritual requires your hero to be attacking, as in the process of performing an attack. There are so many ways to inhibit, confine, entangle, freeze, comatize our heroes today that you can't rely on the healing ritual. Holy Conviction is going to make him an even more indestructible, if that's even possible, where just the thought of being killed doesn't even cross his mind. Okay, that's what Holy Conviction does with the rest of this build. Let's take a look at what his traits are. He is a support hero. He is designed to bring your heroes back from the dead, to revive, to heal, and also to be a wall, a shield against damage. In order to achieve that, we don't want him to get hit. So we stack dodge on the man. There's nothing about what he does that is going to require accuracy. Case could be made that health would be a wise choice, but you will get far more health through a pet and its trait system than you will through a hero's trait system. This is why I often put dodge as a foundation, because the little bit of dodge that this trait system provides me can be amplified, often doubled, almost tripled, through the use of a pet with dodge. Go with the dodge build in order to keep him out of harm's way. This is an amazing hero. I don't know if he was actually designed to be immortal, but that is the cumulative sum effect. Effect of power creep, effect of talents and insignias that when melding together produce an effect that we really hadn't bargained on. Rambard is that hero that can destroy every single base in the game of Castle Clash. Do so by himself, and do so simply with even a low-level Doom Balloon. There's no other hero that can say that in today's game. If you are 100,000 might, if you are 1 million might, a Rambard would be a very, very helpful addition to your team. He will nearly guarantee 100% in game modes like Guild Wars, Raiding, Blitz Gauntlet, and do so all by himself. No other hero can make that claim, and that is why Rambard is the #1 hero in the game of Castle Clash here on the Top 10 Countdown. I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to wish you the best of clashing. Look forward to doing another one of these videos soon where you will find, if you are new to the game, that many of the talents, insignias, and abilities that I've mentioned over the course of this video, that many of them have been negated, undone, completely untangled, and we have something new that takes its place. That is the cycle of Castle Clash. Right now, our man Rambard sits up at the top. Look forward to seeing who sits up at the top on the next video. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and happy clashing.